just call me a new player if you want.
Okay. So the new player. So hey everybody, this is a new player JB. He just started. How long ago did you start?
It's been a little over 2 weeks.
Okay, so we'll say 3 weeks. We'll round up,
Yeah.
right? So in about 3 weeks worth of time, not playing a ton, right? You've probably played maybe 10, 15 hours a week.
Yeah, most of my time has been leaving the game open, so I don't have to
Oh
relock
my
it.
God, isn't that the truth? Okay, about 3 weeks. This is a new player. Really 2 weeks. I'm sure it's probably pretty more accurate. So you started with the express missions and everything, right?
Yeah, I did.
Could you give me just a little bit of background information? What got you into the game? How did you hear about the game? Where did you hear about the game from? What drew you to the game? Like what attracted you to it?
What attracted me to the game was mainly people talking about the combat and the different classes, but because this is the first MMO I've ever played,
Okay,
and
that's huge.
yeah, and I came from spending a lot of time on League of Legends with my friends, so the top down kind of caught my eye too.
You're probably better at it than I am with the mouse click. Like I keep trying to say to people,
Yeah,
like this top down. Someone called it isometric, which is really good to know. But this top down view, you have to be really accurate with your mouse placement, and I'm not sometimes. You probably saw that. Like my mouse flies off the screen sometimes. No,
yeah,
but it's very, very true because in League, especially if you're an AD, right, like a carry, it's very important actually keeping your mouse close to your character model to make sure that you're
yeah.
accurately strafing back and forth. Yeah, so 100%. 100%. I love that you pointed that out. Um, okay, so what got you into the game was more the top down, the combat. I think the combat attracts a lot of players. Now, in your first week of the game, could you tell me a little bit about what your your structure looked like, what your day to day looked like, what you were trying to accomplish, what your thoughts
Uh,
were?
yeah. At first, I was just playing through the story, which was not very fun, honestly.
Okay, that's
With
good.
the story express, it's just kind of bland.
Feedback is
But
feedback, right? So,
yeah,
yeah,
like it's fine at first, and then it just gets repetitive.
100%. G key, 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 G key.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you try to read it, and then you're like, I give up.
I watched the cutscenes. I definitely didn't read. I'm a story person, but I didn't read. I don't read the stuff.
No, there's too much, and there's too many fetch quests. Like I don't even play MMOs, and I knew it was too much.
Yep, 100%. You're funny. That you're very funny. Okay, so you started off your first week was with story. Let's talk about like some of your first goals. So, what was the first thing that you saw in a stream or content or anything that made you say, "I want that"? Like, and let me direct this a little bit. Like, if you saw somebody with a 1560 or doing bro content at any moment during your first week, where you were like, "That's where I want to be."
I at Brel no, but when I like Bolton looked really fun when I saw people play that, and then so from there, I think that's the easy way to grab people in because Bolton's not too much visually to scare people away.
No, yeah, 100%. I agree with you. I'm just shocked that that was what you saw first. You have like the coolest new player experience because most people are all about the big
Yeah,
thing.
I watched a lot of content before I actually started playing.
Okay, so you were more experienced than just a straight up new player off the street.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, these are all good things to know. Okay, so now let's talk about your actual progression. Who were some of the first characters that you targeted? How did you get them to where they got to? What was the process like? And what were some of the roadblocks or non roadblocks that you hit?
Okay. Well, I like when the game first came out. One of my friends played a lot, so I started like a gunslinger, and I was like didn't finish the story, so it was just kind of there. And then when Story Express and stuff came out, when the two passes were out at the same time, I started playing again, and I made a Slayer with Story Express, and then I used the power passes there to get these two, like get the gunslinger and the artist up. So the four characters I made first were Slayer, Artist, a Gunslinger, and Arcanist.
Okay. And two of them were express missions. Two of them were basically power passes. One of them
Yeah,
was story express.
yeah.
Okay. Were there any troubles? Like, did you run into any problems along the way? Any resource? Um,
Resource-wise, it's hard to just gather some stuff because a lot
any
of the content.
bottlenecks?
Bottlenecks was probably gold, and not silver too much if you play the dungeons and stuff early.
Now, the gold bottleneck, right?
Yeah,
How
that
did that affect you? So, when you're pointing it out as a bottleneck, was it limiting your main character from leveling? Was it
it
limiting
was.
gearing your characters? Was it limiting? Yep.
It limits gearing characters, and then from the point of like a new player, you get to 1460 because that's the only alive content right now. It's 1460 plus. So you can't actually progress in content without like you probably need to play like 3 or 4 weeks worth of gold on a couple characters to get to clown, and then progress the main character from there.
I respect that because what you're pointing out right there, and you probably know this now because I keep saying it, but I respect that because what you point out there is an investment period. Like you
Yeah.
acknowledge that there's going to be a period of time needed to get this in a reasonable way. You can get it in an unreasonable way, i.e., thousands of dollars. Not really, but like,
No,
or
it would probably only be like $50 now if you really
I
wanted
know
to.
that's what's crazy. You know what's funny in doing all these videos? Anytime I get a whale or a spender that asks me for advice, I'm having a hard time not telling them just to go pay for all the power passes and get a bunch of fucking self-burn ready characters. Because it's hard. Because if you're a whale, if you're somebody who's about to spend $1,000 to $2,000 on this game over the next like
You can
year,
get going quick.
facts, yeah, big facts. You could just blow it into the, especially if you put it in the right places. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
100%, 100%. Okay, so
Yeah, because I can't help myself. I browse the cash shop even though I know I can't afford it.
you know, if you ever do spend any money on the game, there is one thing in the cash shop I tell everybody to get, even if you are a free to play player. There's this Royal Crystal deal for like 1,100 Royal Crystals. That's
Yeah,
like
I
ten
saw
bucks.
that
The
one.
blue
Yeah,
crystals, right?
yeah, the blue crystals. That's a good deal.
It's too good, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so like in the games, the phone game I used to play, that was all I would do. If you buy the good deals, sometimes it's like worth it. But yeah, no, don't. I'm not encouraging you to spend because once you start
Yeah,
down that
no.
path, it's really hard not to keep going. But um, okay. So we have a generalized idea. Gold was your main bottleneck. What did you do to try to alleviate that bottleneck? Or what are you doing? Are you still trying to work on that?
I'm just parking everything at that I can at 1460.
Okay. So you can
Trying to progress.
overall
I'm
increase
trying
your
to
gold.
progress my yeah, trying to get more characters up so I can increase my gold flow through weeks.
Now, as a new player, now I know what I would think, but as a new player, do you think it would be more important for you to push, and this is a question, right? Do you think it would be more important for you to push one of these characters up towards 1490 and ahead, or to get them to 1460 and gear all of them with the gold that you're making now? So, because the reason I'm asking this is a lot of people in my videos saying that pushing a character to 1490 isn't worth the gold cost because they're already producing a happy amount of gold. And how I'll say this is like if they're already making 8K a week, by pushing to 1490, all you're going to do is make an extra 2K a week, then you might as well keep them here and not spend the 40K gold to get them there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's
So
where this kid's kind of right. So now with that in mind, what do you.
my ideology behind it was I wanted to get like 4 characters to 1460 and then have my gold flow from there and then push one to 75 to get the clown books and then try to get 2 more characters up to 1460
I know
over
this is
time.
tough because we've already
Yeah.
had a conversation, so you're going to implement some of the stuff we've talked about, and
Yeah,
that's
I mean
totally fine.
that's
No,
what
no,
I've
and
done,
that's totally fine. That's totally fine because at the end of it, you can say like, "What did you add?" We'll say like, "I'll ask you, what did you add to it?" Or you can even, as you tell it, what you added from the strategy that we talked about, and that's totally fine. Totally fine. Go ahead though, because you're seeing the logic. That's the thing. If you're
Yeah.
sitting here and you're able to regurgitate it to me and have a conversation with me about it, then you get it enough to say that you are happy implementing it into your account. And I didn't just brainwash you and force you to do something. Do you know what I mean? And that's what's
Yeah.
important here. Is I want a lot of the guys in the comments they're saying shit that's true and aiding my point, and what that tells me is I'm either doing a terrible job of explaining it, or their perspective they're just not seeing how it applies to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so off the rip, I don't think it's worth pushing to 1490 unless you're like FOMOing. I need to play Brel right now, because
And
otherwise
why
you're just
don't you
gonna
think it's worth it?
there's not much gain in the account, and you'd have to put a lot of resources into being able to even play like being accepted into groups that you don't have. Like I don't even think if I pushed to 1490, no one would take Slayer with 4x3 and the event gems.
I agree and disagree with that. Like I think somebody would take you, but you are right. No, no, no. You're more on 99% right than you are wrong. I just bold statement. I think somebody would take you.
Somebody would, but it would take like
A
a
long
lot. It
time.
would take some effort.
Thank you. Maybe an hour of lobby simulator, which is
Yeah.
also still a loss of time. Yeah, 100%. No, 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 I love what you're saying. I'm nitpicking at that point, right? But okay. So when do you think it would be a good time to push for your 1490?
Push to 1490 once I have probably just the bound resources to do it any point then, and then like enough gold generation to warrant it. Because right now, like even though Slayer has more of my bound stuff, I'm gonna push the artist first, just so I can actually play the content without having to worry about the lobby simulator.
Yep. I 100% agree with that. I do. Okay. I mean, that's kind of it. That's why I said I knew it would be a short video because, actually, let's talk a little bit more. What 2 more questions? What are your coming goals? What are your goals currently, like at this moment?
At this
Like, if you were to
moment,
get in the game and play right now, what would you want to be doing?
right now I'm trying to generate enough resources to get 1460 on my gunslinger, because like I paid for one Bolton bus and just free tapped pretty much all the way to 1460 on the Arcanist.
That's awesome. You gotta love
Yeah,
that.
I got like 3 or 4 free taps. So I need to get gunslinger to 1460 and then gear my Arcanist.
Also, side note, if you need any Vultans or something, I'm going into the game right now. I have shit I gotta do, but actually, you've been so helpful. I'll jump in and I'll carry you through some fucking Vultans straight up if you want.
Yeah, I don't mind playing Bolton too much. I just haven't played Vicus, and it's kind of hard to.
If we
just
do a
jump into
Vicus,
that.
we're gonna try and get a learning group together because I actually have a lot of other people asking that
Yeah,
same
we
thing.
can do that another time. But I just meant like through the week. That'd be nice, because I haven't played it, and that's the one thing. I know you can jail people hard in that one.
Yep. Watch more videos, or maybe I'll do some Vicuses and I'll try to explain exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing when I'm doing it.
Yeah.
You know,
Because
a good person for that is Memorizer.
Yeah. Okay.
Check him out. The reason I love him, Korean streamer called Memorizer, is as he's doing his raids, he is talking about why he's doing what he's doing, and he re-explains it in different words continuously. So he'll say the same thing multiple times in different ways. He very much so understands that communication is the biggest problem in teaching people sometimes, and he does a very good job at trying to bridge that gap, and I love it. So definitely Memorize. I'd check him out for raid aspects. Like I would totally go to him. And then the last thing was of everything that we've talked about, how has your mindset changed since talking to me? I guess like what were you thinking of before, and what did we talk about with the funnel method and everything? What are you implementing from it now? Like what did it change about your strategy? I guess.
It just changed the order in which I'm doing things, pretty much.
I love that you said that.
Yeah.
Wait, hold up. So it didn't change your goals or what you want. It just changed how you're doing it.
Yeah, it just changed the order of which I was like tackling each goal. So I went from a wider angle now rather than just going like forcing one.
Please elaborate on that because I'm smiling at the camera like I'm trying not to cheese right now because it's like you get it so clear sometimes.
So instead of just like forcing characters up to do content, I was trying to grow my account. Like I'm still trying. Like I even have a sharpshooter that I went through the story with. Not the story, but I power passed him and got him up to tier 3 from a 600 gold knowledge transfer. And he's at 1385. So
Oh, that's right. Last time we talked, wasn't that character like 600?
Yeah, he was 600.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. So,
see, but it wasn't even that bad. That's crazy how fast you got that guy up, actually.
Yeah, it's really easy to get him up. It just takes like a little bit of time.
A little bit of time, which you're going to put into the game anyways. And that's a big factor with the ratio thing is it's like a lot of the higher level players don't get this, but you guys are in a different stage of the game. So where you put your time, although like they're trying to say, go do your raids, go do this, go do that. It's the most important thing for you. No, that's the most important thing for us where we are in the game. Where you are in the game, spending a couple hours here and there investing into side content is actually still really valuable for your account. Do you know what I mean? For us, not so much. It's diminishing returns at this point for us.
Well, a lot of the characters I even picked are unplayable without an absurd amount of skill points.
Yeah, that's a fact, actually. That's an end game concept, but that's a fact.
Yeah.
Supports have that problem. Like the artist in the bard cannot really work as well if they don't have the tripod or the skill points. Whereas the pally can kind of get away with it. So like when I make recommendations for characters to play for new players and it's a support, it's always the pally because the pally can get away with I think like 2 skill points.
Except
And that's
he's
it.
like the most boring class in the game.
That be careful with that. But yeah, that's fair. No, you're right though. But that's fair. But go ahead, elaborate a little bit more. Just give me one more piece. Like, what else did it change? Is there any overall perspective on the game that it changed? Not just your account specifically, but like now, because now remember, you're going to be in a place, 5 months from now that's different than right now. How would you implement 5 months from now that same concept? Like, of the ideologies I gave you, the teach to fish, what's the base underlying thing? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the base underlying thing is you just need to create like a self-sustained account. So you just need to have enough characters to generate the resources that you want to accomplish like a goal. So in my case, right now, I want to play all like at least the 4 characters that are the highest right now. So I want to have a baseline to get them all up to eventually current content. But I don't know exactly how far that's going to take. But just something along those lines.
No, but I like it because one, you didn't say any specific item levels or anything, or gold amounts or resource amounts. It's just about understanding your account and knowing that you can't do it instantly unless you're Will. And if you can't do it instantly and you have to play playtime anyways, that you might want to try to look at a way to play it efficiently during that time. If you're already going to be putting time into it, because it's not the kind of game like people say, oh, I get burnt out by playing efficient, right? But if you go look at a game like WoW, or not WoW, or RuneScape, right? Playing efficient in RuneScape compared to playing efficient in this is fucking dreadful. Because playing efficient in RuneScape means that you're triple ticking, you're triple tick eating, you're triple tick mining, you're triple tick fletching. Like, you're doing shit actively, nonstop, that is going to mean that you need a new mouse within 2 months. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's excessive. Go look up triple tick, like, and you'll understand it in a second. Like, efficiency in RuneScape is fucking crazy, like way crazier than this. Okay, efficiency in this game is just telling you to put your energy in a different place. It's completely different. It's not telling you to be an elite, setup macro spam clicker. Got to be omega efficient. Click tar. Click this. Click that. Click this. Click tick. Click. No, no, it's not like that in this game. It's just telling you to put your energy somewhere different than somewhere else, and you're gonna be playing the game anyways. I was just pausing because I was gonna. But yeah, so do you want to add anything? Because again, I'm gonna upload this and they can hear you. Do you want to add anything to either new players, old players, just to help alleviate some of the stress or reveal some perspective? Just anything you think would be aid or helpful.
I think the game's a lot easier to get into than people think. Like the side content's boring and stuff, but it really doesn't take that long to get a decent number of skill points, and the raids are really fun once you start playing them. And they give you 1460 for free. Like, I could probably get another 2 characters up there in a week.
Just by doing the Chaos Dungeons
Just
and
by
Silver.
doing Chaos Dungeons and Silver, yeah.
A lot of people hated me for that. They were like, "What do you mean? They need more than Silver?" I'm like, "Not anymore. You don't like."
If you take all the, you might be short on leap stones a little bit, but you get it's pretty easy.
But that's okay. If you're short on leap stones, what does that mean? You just have a little bit more playtime, or you take the event and put it into them, right? Like a ratio.
Yeah.
Yeah. But or you funnel it, right? Because here's the thing: every single day on your account, you can produce. I don't know off the top of my head, but like, let's just do some rough math. 4 Kundaliniums, if you did them, or 4 Descaludas, right? That's 40 to like 80 stones, somewhere in that range, every day that you can produce.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I've been doing. I've just been spending, instead of buying or anything, I just use the ones I farm.
Because gold, I always say gold's not the most important resource, right? But that's because I play the way I play, with understanding the ratio of other resources, right? Gold is important. You don't get gold from a lot of different sources. You do, and I'm contradicting myself in some ways, but if you're using funnel method, then you don't want to use your gold, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, your gold's really important, so it's important to wait that little bit of extra time if you're doing what we're talking about and get the bound materials. Because anytime you buy materials, your gold ratio, your gold income just dropped. It just dropped because you're buying the materials to do it. And that's why sometimes it's just better to use time, which you're going to use anyways, to spend your resource time instead of spending your resource gold, because your resource gold has a limited amount. Your resource time is going to keep fucking going.
Save to save a lot of gold early. With like past the first 2 characters, you need to do trade skills too, otherwise you're gonna be fucked.
I like that you said that too. Because was it you that did the trade skills and then you sent me the picture?
I did all the trade skills.
What did you get? I wanted to know how many arrays you could make.
I'd have to do it again.
Please do. Please for me, because if you do it, I just want to know, if you do 10,000 energy, how many you can produce from that, because that's a really good math to know. Like, and there's no like bonus. There is. You can use the bonus pots.
I didn't even do it efficiently because I fucking AFK fish the whole time. Like, I didn't do the.
No, but that's even better. That's even better when you don't do something fully efficiently and it still makes the point. That's even better. It's even better. That was the whole thing with a lot of my videos, is that I undersell stuff and I still make the point. So it's fine. It's even better. Because listen, if you were fully efficient, it would be unrealistic. You'd be more like a bot than you would like a player. You know? I loved this, though. I knew it would be really helpful, but we're at 20 minutes, so I'm going to end this because I'm going to do a one-hit upload. I'm just going to upload this as is. I don't want to edit anything. All right, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Let's go! Yeah, public enemy, number one. When we mobbing, trouble in the streets, here we come. With a spot, public enemy, number one. And we mobbing, bring it on, bring it on. Everybody clear the exits, make a way to vacate. Ready to raise your riot, I wanna raise the silence. Yeah, yeah. Living the safe environment is within asylum. Yeah, yeah. They wanna make us quiet, quick in the cage of silence. Yeah, yeah. They wanna make compliance, we gon' restrict the fire. Yeah, time to write a new code. Let's let the rules go. Show 'em why they name us public enemy. Uno. Yeah, they say we ruthless, we savage. Yeah, there's a method to the madness. Yeah, they say we psycho, the baddest. There's a method to the madness. 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 Savage, yeah, but there's a method to the madness. We gon' do it our way, never needed the kudos. Kill 'em with the chaos, only way that we do know. Lawless and ruthless, that's a dynamic duo. Yeah, we get the job done while you running your food hole.